ain'tbreaking.com. Lesson number 2. What kind of music do you like? Past tense. Questions and answers. Ava was having a conversation with Jacob. Was Ava having a conversation with Peter?
No, Ava was having conversation with Jacob.
No, she wasn't having a conversation with Peter. Ava was having a conversation with Jacob. Who was Ava having a conversation with?
Jacob. Ava was having a conversation with Jacob.
Jacob. Ava was having a conversation with Jacob. What was Ava doing with Jacob?
She was having a conversation. Ava was having.
She was having a conversation. Ava was having a conversation with Jacob. She wanted to know what kind of music he liked. What did Ava want to know from Jacob?
What kind of music Jacob liked?
What kind of music Jacob liked? Ava wanted to know what kind of music he liked. She wanted to know what kind of music he liked. Who wanted to know what kind of music Jacob liked?
Ava wanted to know what kind of music Jacob liked.
Ava wanted to know what kind of music Jacob liked. Did she want to know what kind of music Jacob disliked?
No, he didn't want to know what kind of music he did like.
No, she didn't want to know what kind of music he disliked, he hated. She wanted to know what kind of music he liked. So, she asked him about his favorite kind of music. Did she ask him about his favorite kind of music?
Yes, she asked him about his favorite kind of music.
Yes, she asked him about his favorite kind of music. Did Ava ignore Jacob's favorite kind of music?
No, she didn't. She asked him about his favorite kind of music.
No, she didn't ignore his favorite kind of music. Ava asked him about his favorite kind of music. What did Ava ask Jacob about?
His favorite kind of music. Ava asked Jacob about his favorite
kind of music. Ava asked Jacob about his favorite kind of music. Jacob said he liked all kinds of music, but he mostly liked pop, rock, and classical. What kind of music did Jacob say he liked?
He liked all kinds of music, but he said like
all kinds of music. Jacob said he liked all kinds of music, but he mostly liked pop, rock, and classical. Did Jacob mostly like opera, country, and western music?
No. Jacob said he liked all kinds of music, but he mostly liked pop.
No. Jacob said he liked all kinds of music, but he mostly liked pop, rock, and classical. Did Jacob tell Ava what kind of music he hated?
No. Jacob said he liked all kinds of music.
No,
but he
Jacob didn't tell Ava what kind of music he hated. Jacob said he liked all kinds of music, but he mostly liked pop, rock, and classical. Ava had tickets to a show. What kind of tickets did Ava have?
To a show.
The tickets to a show. Ava had tickets to a show and invited Jacob to go with her to the show. Did Ava invite Jeremy to the movies?
No, Ava has tickets to a show and invites Jacob to go with her to the show.
No, she didn't invite Jeremy to the movies. Ava invited Jacob to the show. Ava had tickets to a show and invited Jacob to go with her to the show. Did Ava have tickets?
Yes, Ava has tickets to a show.
Yes, Ava had tickets. Ava had tickets to a show and invited Jacob to go with her to the show. Jacob asked what kind of music the show would have. What did Jacob ask?
Jacob asked what kind of music the show would have.
Jacob asked what kind of music the show would have. He asked what kind of music the show would have. Did Jacob ask what kind of music the show would have?
Yes, Jacob asked what kind of music the show would have.
Yes, Jacob asked what kind of music the show would have. How did Jacob find out the kind of music the show would have? He asked Ava. Jacob asked what kind of music the show would have. Ava told him it was rock and it was in Lincoln Park. Did Ava tell Jacob the kind of music and the show's location?
Yes, Ava told Jacob the kind of music and the show location.
Yes, Ava told Jacob the kind of music and the show's location. Ava told him it was rock and it was in Lincoln Park. Did Ava keep a secret from Jacob about the type of music?
No, Ava told him it was rock and it was in Lincoln Park.
No, Ava told him it was rock and it was in Lincoln Park.
It was in Lincoln Park.
Did Ava tell Jacob the show was in Jackson Park?
No, Ava told him it was rock and it wasn't in Lincoln Park.
No, Ava told him it was rock and it was in Lincoln Park. Jacob asked what time the show would start. What did Jacob ask about the show?
Jacob asked what time the show would start. He asked what time the show would start.
Jacob asked what time the show would start. He asked what time the show would start. Did Jacob ask who was performing at the show?
No, he didn't. Jacob asked what time the show would start.
No, he didn't ask who was performing at the show. Jacob asked what time the show would start.
Start.
Who asked what time the show would start?
Jacob asked what time the show would start.
Jacob asked what time the show would start. He asked what time the show would start. Ava told him the show would start at 7 p.m. When did Ava tell Jacob the show would start?
Ava told him the show would start at 7 p.m.
Ava told him the show would start at 7 p.m. She told him it was 7 p.m. Who told him the show was at 7 p.m.?
Ava told him it was at 7 p.m.
Ava told him it was at 7 p.m. She told him it was at 7 p.m.
It was at 7 p.m.
Was the show at 7 p.m.?
Yes, the show was at 7 p.m.
Yes, the show was at 7 p.m. Ava told Jacob it was at 7 p.m. Jacob said he would like to go to the show and suggested having dinner first. How did Jacob answer to Ava?
Jacob said he would like to go to the show and instead they have dinner first.
Jacob said he'd like to go to the show and suggested having dinner first. He answered he'd like to go and suggested having dinner first. Did Jacob say he didn't want to go to the show?
No, Jacob said he'd like to go to the show and suggest they have dinner first.
No. Jacob said he'd like to go to the show and suggested having dinner first.
Dinner first.
What else did Jacob suggest to Ava?
Have dinner. Dinner.
Having dinner. Jacob said he'd like to go to the show and suggested having dinner first. Who said he would like to go?
Jacob. Jacob said he would like to go, and he said he would like to go.
Jacob. Jacob said he would like to go. He said he would like to go. He suggested having dinner first. What did Jacob suggest?
He suggested eating dinner first.
He suggested eating dinner first. He suggested having dinner before the show. Did he suggest having dinner after the show?
No. He suggested eating dinner before the show.
No, he didn't suggest eating dinner after the show. He suggested eating dinner before the show.
Before.
Did Simon suggest eating dinner first?
No. Jacob suggested eating dinner first.
No.
Not
Jacob suggested eating dinner first. Jacob suggested eating dinner first with Ava. Ava thought eating dinner first was a good idea. What did Ava think?
Eating dinner first was a good idea.
Eating dinner first was a good idea. Ava thought this was a good idea. Did Ava think having dinner first was a bad idea?
No, Ava didn't think having dinner first was a bad idea. Ava thought
No,
that
Ava
was
didn't
a
think
good
having
idea.
dinner first was a bad idea. Ava thought that was a good idea.
It was a good idea.
What did Ava tell Jacob about having dinner first?
Ava thought that was a good idea.
Ava thought that was a good idea. Ava told Jacob having dinner first was a good idea. Jacob suggested eating at a restaurant across the street from his apartment.
Was the Jacob
What did Jacob suggest to Ava?
Jacob suggested eating at the restaurant across the street from his apartment.
Jacob suggested eating at the restaurant across the street from his apartment. He suggested having dinner at the restaurant across the street from his apartment.
His apartment.
Did Jacob suggest having dinner at the Hilton Hotel?
No, Jacob suggested having dinner at the restaurant across the
No,
street from
Jacob suggested having dinner
from
at the
his
restaurant
apartment.
across the street from his apartment.
from his apartment.
Where did Jacob suggest having dinner?
At the restaurant across the street from his apartment.
At the restaurant across the street from his apartment. Jacob suggested having dinner at the restaurant across the street from his apartment.
Apartment.
Ava liked the idea and thought she knew where the restaurant was. Did Ava want to have dinner with Jacob?
Yes, she want to have dinner with Jacob.
Yes, she wanted to have dinner with Jacob. Ava liked the idea and thought she knew where the restaurant was. Did Ava know where the restaurant was?
Yes, Ava knew where the restaurant was. She thought she knew
Yes,
where the restaurant
Ava
was.
knew where the restaurant was. She thought she knew where the restaurant was.
She thought she knew where the restaurant was.
Who knew where the restaurant was?
Ava knew where the restaurant was. She
Ava.
knew the restaurant
Ava knew where the
location.
restaurant was. She knew the restaurant's location. Jacob told her she was right about the restaurant's location. Did Jacob tell Lisa she was right about the restaurant's location?
No, Jacob didn't tell Lisa. Jacob told Ava.
No, Jacob didn't tell Lisa. Jacob told Ava she was right about the restaurant's location. Who did Jacob tell she was right about the restaurant's location?
Ava. Jacob told Ava she was right about the restaurant location.
Ava. Jacob told Ava she was right about the restaurant's location. Jacob told her she was right about the restaurant's location. Who told Ava she was right about the restaurant's location?
Jacob. Jacob told her she was right about the restaurant location.
Jacob. Jacob told her she was right about the restaurant's location.